Hello, good morning, sir. So I'm
Good
sorry.
morning.
I'm sorry I'm disturbed your time in Sunday
It's
morning.
okay.
uh, uh, could I could I ask you about learning activities in class, especially how theory and practice are balanced?
Oh, that's a great question. Of course, let's talk about it. What's your concern?
Sometimes I feel uh, there's a lot theory and it's challenging to see how it connects to real life situation. How do you design activities into include both?
Oh, that's a common concern, and it's a good one. I try to start with theory because it provides the foundation. Once you understand the basic concept, I introduce activities like case studies, role playing, or projects to help you see how the theory applies in practical situations.
That makes sense. I noticed that in our last session, the case study really helped me understand the concept better than just reading about it.
I'm glad to hear that. Case studies are great for bridging the gap between theory and practice. They allow you to analyze real world scenarios and apply what you've learned. Do you find group work helpful for this?
Yes, group work is useful because we can share ideas, but sometimes it's hard to divide the text actuality. Actually,
That's a fair point. Group dynamics can be quite tricky. I'll consider giving more structure to group tasks, like assigning specific roles to each member to make it more balanced.
thank you, sir. How do you ensure that the balance between theory and practice works for a student?
Good question. I use a mix of teaching methods, lectures and theory, hands on activities and practices, and reflective discussion to connect the two. I also collect feedback regularly to see what's working and make adjustments if needed.
I appreciate that. Do you think it's more important to focus on theory or practice in our field of study?
I think both are equally important. Theory helps you understand the why behind what you are doing, while practice helps you develop the how. The two complement each other. Without theory, your practical skills may lack depth, and without practice, theoretical knowledge can feel abstract.
That's good. That's a good way to look at it. Uh, are there any upcoming activities that will focus more on practical skill?
Yes, we have a project coming up, and that will involve solving a real world problems related to our course, indeed. It will require you to use your theoretical knowledge and practical skills. I think you'll enjoy it.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for explaining all this, sir. It's great to understand how the activities are designed to help us learn better.
You're very welcome. And remember, if you ever feel like the balance isn't working for you, let me know. Your feedback is always valuable.
Yes, I noticed that you use a mix of methods like lectures, group discussion, and case studies. How do you decide which method to use for each topic?
Oh, that's a great observation. I choose the methods based on the learning objectives. For example, lectures are good for introducing core concepts. Discussions help with exploring different perspectives, and case studies allow you to apply theoretical knowledge to practical problems.
That makes sense. I think group discussion are really helpful, but sometimes they feel a bit unstructured and it's hard to stay focused.
I see what you mean. Group discussion can lose focus if not well guided. Perhaps I could provide clearer instructions or give specific roles within the groups. Do you think that might help?
Yes, I think with a clearer structure, the discussion would be more effective. Also, I enjoy the case studies, but sometimes it feels like it requires more practice speaking English to get used to it.
That's a valid point. I'll try to provide more context or preparation material before we start the case study. And several parts will be made so that there is learning to speak English. It's important that everyone feels ready to get involved.
Thank you, sir. Do you think one method is better than the others, or does it depend on the subject?
Well, it really depends on the subject and the learning goals. No single method is perfectly for every situation. A combination is usually the best way to cater to different styles of learning and ensure that students understand both theory and application.
This makes sense. I appreciate how you use a variety of methods. It keeps the class interesting and engaging.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I'll keep working to make the learning experience as effective as possible. If you have any other feedback or suggestions, don't hesitate to share.
Yes, sir. I want to tell about the classroom environment, sir. I feel like it's a bit too relaxed sometimes.
I appreciate your honesty. What aspects of the classroom environment do you think are too relaxed?
Some students tend to talk or use their phones during class. It creates a distraction and make it harder to focus on the lessons.
Oh, that's a valid concern. A relaxed atmosphere should encourage learning and not disrupt it. Do you think setting stricter rules would help?
Yes, I think I think having clear expectations about behavior would be a good start. Maybe reminding everyone about the importance to staying engaged during class could help.
Well, that's a great suggestion. I can reinforce expectation at the beginning of each session and address disruptive behavior when it happens. Do you think this approach would be effective?
I think so. I think so. Also, maybe some structured activities or tasks could keep everyone more focused.
Good point. Incorporating more interactive tasks like group discussion or quick quizzes might keep the energy positive but controlled.
I agree. It's good to have a relaxed vibes, but there should still be a sense of respect and focus.
Absolutely. The goal is to maintain a balance, an environment where students feel comfortable yet motivated to stay engaged. Thank you for bringing this up. It's a valuable feedback.
Yes, sir. May I ask you about your experience as a lecturer on campus?
Of course, feel free to ask. What would you like to know?
We often see lectures in the classroom or during office hours, but I wonder what is your daily life like outside of teaching?
That's an interesting question. Outside of teaching, my day involves preparing for lectures, grading assignments, conducting research, attending meetings, and sometimes mentoring students. It's a mix of academic and administrative responsibility.
That sounds quite busy. How do you balance teaching and research?
Well, it can be challenging at times, but I try to set a schedule. For instance, I dedicate specific days for research and writing and use other days for teaching preparation and student interactions. It's about prioritizing and staying organized.
Ah, uh, do you also get time to relax or uh, engage in the campus activities outside academic?
Yes, I try to make time for that. Participating in cultural events, attending student performances, or just walking around campus help me unwind and stay connected to the community.
That is inspiring me as student. We often don't realize how much work goes into being a lecturer. What do you find most rewarding about your role?
Oh, thank you. For me, the most rewarding part is seeing students grow, both academically and personally. Knowing I've played a role in shaping someone's future is incredibly fulfilling.
That's wonderful. Do you ever feel that that student understand the challenges lectures face?
Not always, but that's okay. I believe open communication like discussion like this helps build mutual understanding.
I agree. Thank you for sharing, sir. It gave me new perspective on what I means to be a lecturer.
You're welcome. I appreciate your curiosity and willingness to understand a different side of campus life.
Uh, so, uh, could we discuss what the learning process looks like from a student point of view?
I'd love to hear your perspective. What aspects would you like to focus on?
I think as student, we sometimes feel overwhelmed by assignment and deadlines. It can be challenging to balance coursework with personal responsibilities.
I understand that managing time is a skill that takes practice. Do you think it would help if we give more guidance on prioritizing tasks or managing deadlines?
Yes, that would definitely help. Sometimes assignment overlap and it become difficult to give our best effort to each task.
That's a fair point. We'll try to coordinate better as lecturers to avoid overlapping deadlines where possible. What else do you think impacts the student experience?
The the teaching style also plays a big role. Some students learn better through interactive methods, while others prefer detailed lectures.
That's true. We try to mix teaching methods to accommodate different learning styles. But it's a challenge to cater to everyone. Do you think a feedback system for teaching methods would be useful?
Yes, having regular opportunities to give feedback would also student to share what's working and what's not.
That's a good idea. It will help us adjust our approach in real time. From your perspective, what motivates students the most in a classroom?
Mm, I think feeling heard and valued makes a big difference. When lecturers show interest in our opinions, it creates a positive learning for environment.
That's a great insight. I'll make an effort to engage more actively with students during discussion. Thank you for sharing your point of view.
Thank you, sir, for listening me. I appreciate your openness to understanding the student experience.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Oke, Pak. Dah.
Udah direkam.
Udah, Pak.
Oke.